Hey, Dan here. Just got a little quick video for you guys. I am working on a Minecraft movie video essay, and I've been promising that to a lot of people. So I'll try to have that out soon. But for now, I finished a book in English class, so I wanted to give a review on it, what I thought. As you can tell, I do like reading a lot. So whenever we get a new book in English class, I thoroughly read it, and I try to give my try to give it a good chance, a fair chance. So the book that we've just finished, The Things They Carried by Tim O'Brien. And I liked it a lot. So just to get into it, it's a fiction book. Even though it's kind of hard to explain, the book is very biographical. The events are very specific, and it's read in a way that makes you think it's the story of the author's life. But he insists in multiple interviews that it is fiction, even though it does it draws from events in his life, but he insists it's fiction, even though it's confusing. I guess we'll get into the characters just so you understand. The main character is named Tim O'Brien after the author, obviously, and even in the tributes, it says this book is dedicated to all the men of the platoon, to the men of Alpha Company, in particular to Jimmy Cross, Norman Bowker, Rat Kiley, Mitchell Sanders, Henry Dobbins, and Kiowa. This is the tribute, right, outside of the book, but these are all characters in the book. So it's it's read as an autobiography. He insists it's fiction, even though it does draw from his experiences in real life, but the events are so realistic that you'd think it's fiction. And it's well, you just have to read the book. It's really difficult to explain. So, first thing to go into is detail, right? I think that's the first thing to look at. Detail is done wonderfully in this book. It may be a little bit too much. It may be oversaturated with detail. The first chapter is very oversaturated with details of what the soldiers had to carry during the Vietnam War. Um, he goes into explicit detail, not explicit in a bad way. It's just explicit, like listing every single thing they carried, along with the weights of each thing. Very very in depth. So there's a lot of detail, kind of oversaturates you, and it's a little bit of a hard read in the beginning. Past that first chapter, though, the book gets really good. The detail in the rest of the chapters is amazing. Not too much, like in the first chapter, but not too little to the point where it's like reading a children's book. To look at the next thing, I think characters. Characters are beautifully well done. The development is very good in a lot of these characters, and you're able to almost learn about each character's past just from what they're doing in the present. And I guess it's super easy to do when it's basically an autobiography. And this guy just wants to keep saying, like, I don't know, he just make it an autobiography. Just don't even try to call it fiction. But I mean, yeah, I guess that's super easy to make well developed characters when these are basically people in real life. I'd say my favorite characters from the book were Jimmy Cross, Kiowa. Everyone liked Kiowa. Like, he was the favorite character in the class, even of the teacher. Without giving too much away, he was the super religious guy in the squad. He had all the morals. He basically acted as the therapist for the group. Kiowa was just a great part of the book. I loved reading about him. Every chapter with him felt like very it felt very well put together, you know. So that's characters. Looking at settings obviously the Vietnam War. Um, it's they he does describe his settings very well. A lot. It would help. It's one of those books where they describe the settings a little too well. That if you don't know the place, you're kind of lost. You're like, well, I've got no idea where this is, and I've frankly just have I'm not even gonna pretend like I know the geography of what he's saying, but setting's pretty well done outside of cities in Vietnam. But he describes settings like houses, stuff like that perfectly. And the ending of the book, just looking at the ending, I think the resolution, and it's not really a story per se, where there's a resolution of everything and a conflict, but I just thought it was the ending of the book satisfied me. It was a good ending, and Overall, I'd give it a. As far as English books go, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. Not books in general, but books they assign you for English. I think it's probably one of the better books they assigned you. Lots of action. There is a little. It's a little bit of. There's some gore in some parts, but it's not terrible. And just overall, I think it's a really great book. I definitely recommend if you actually get it in your English class, not sparks noting it or whatever, and actually reading it because it is a good book, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So that's all for my video on this, Things They Carried by Tim O'Brien. I hope you it's oh, I guess I should go over length real quick. It is only 226 pages. I think cumulatively it took me about like 2.5, maybe 3 hours to read. You know, about an hour per 100 pages. As you can see, it's not that many words per page, and the vocabulary is not too advanced, so it's a pretty easy read. I definitely recommend like actually taking the time to read it. And yeah, that's all for my book review. Definitely a good book. Check it out. Thank you.